Michael Burry has just revealed he's buying a very notable new stock, and this time the company he's buying, it might surprise you. No, it's not an AI company, it's not a fast-growing tech stock. Bizarrely, it's not even a company that's doing particularly well right now. Its shares have fallen roughly 75% from their highs, sales growth has slowed, profits are under pressure, tariffs are hurting margins, and pretty much every Wall Street analyst has turned insanely bearish. In fact, only 2 Wall Street analysts out of 32 dare give this stock a buy rating. The company is Lululemon. So why is one of the world's most famous value investors currently buying it? And how much of a bargain does he think Lululemon really is? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video, because Burry recently dropped a 6,000 word report on exactly what he thinks of the business over on his Substack. And while I'm not going to read it word for word, I do want to go over his thesis to try and understand what he might be seeing that the rest of the market currently isn't. Also, cheeky newsflash, Phil and the Rule 1 team might be thinking the exact same thing as Burry. Also, speaking of Phil, if you guys are interested in coming along to one of our 3-day in-person investing workshops, please go ahead and put your name down on the list in the pinned comment. Nothing is officially announced yet, but we're pretty sure we're doing another live workshop on the 18th to 20th of September. It's strictly limited to 300 people. Honestly, that's just the capacity of the venue. So if you want first dibs, chuck your name down on that list and we'll send an email out to you before we mention it more broadly. But back to Michael Burry and Lululemon, and I wanted to start with a bit of context as to why everybody hates this stock at the moment, because actually a lot of it is self-inflicted. There are really 5 major concerns weighing on the business today. And let's start with the more objective ones. The first is slowing sales growth. So for years, Lululemon was one of retail's biggest success stories. Revenues seemed to grow year after year and investors were willing to pay a premium for that growth. But more recently, particularly in North America, that momentum has slowed considerably. Comparable sales have turned negative, customer traffic has weakened, and management is now expecting little to no revenue growth this year. So that is an obvious problem. Then the second issue is tariffs. So Lululemon manufactures much of its clothing overseas, and the US tariffs have really killed it. They have significantly increased costs. Management recently said tariffs alone reduced gross margins by almost 3 percentage points last quarter, with more pressure expected throughout the year. So that is a meaningful hit to profitability. Then from their third, let's not beat around the bush, Lululemon have also shot themselves in the foot a lot, multiple times. For example, one of Lululemon's big new leggings designs called Breeze Through has recently been cancelled for being completely unflattering and earning the name of the whale tail. The company has also admitted to issues with inventory planning, leaving stores short on popular colors and sizes while overstocking others. So not great. And then even recently in China, which is a key segment for them, there's no other way to put this really, they used a Japanese war drum at their promotional yoga event on the Great Wall of China. Oops. So yes, none of these problems are catastrophic on their own, but together, it's not great. Then from there, that's the third issue. The fourth issue that investors are currently worried about is competition becoming more intense. So brands like Alo and Vuori have become increasingly popular, while cheaper alternatives are now very widely available through retailers like Amazon. Now, whether these competitors are permanently taking market share, that's up for debate, but investors are clearly worried that Lululemon's dominance in premium athleisure isn't secure as it once was. That's point number 4. And then finally, point number 5, there's uncertainty around leadership. Lululemon is currently being run by interim co-CEOs, with a permanent CEO not expected to take over until later this year. This CEO is going to be Heidi O'Neill from Nike, but right now she isn't there yet, so big question marks remain. And because of that uncertainty, right now the market is just waiting to see whether new leadership will actually do anything. So overall, it's not the best report card, and when you consider those 5 things, you can understand why the stock has fallen so dramatically. And to be honest, for most investors, that's probably where it ends. They just throw Lululemon in the bin and they'll move on to something like Nvidia or SpaceX, something more exciting. But if there's one thing Michael Burry has become known for over his investing career, it's being a contrarian. Burry admits he sees this as a potential turnaround play. So he's not just investing for where it is now, he's asking, are these problems temporary or are they permanent? Is the brand permanently in the bin, Or is it just being mismanaged? Is the moat gone? Or is the business just being fumbled? Well, according to Michael Burry, the interesting thing that really stood out to him wasn't what's happening today. It's actually that all of this has happened before. As he dug into Lululemon's history, he noticed something. Many of the problems that investors are worried about today, they're not actually new. Back in the early 2010s, Lululemon went through what looked like a full-blown corporate crisis. There was the famous "Who is John Galt" PR disaster that upset many of its core customers. Then came the transparent yoga pants recall. Founder Chip Wilson also made a series of controversial public comments. Margins collapsed, same-store sales stalled, management was constantly changing, and the stock spent years going nowhere. Now, if you were an investor back then, it would have been very easy to conclude that Lululemon's best days were behind it, but that's not what happened. Eventually, a new CEO came in, execution improved, margins recovered to record highs, and the stock went on one of the greatest runs in retail over the following decade. Now, to be clear, Michael Burry isn't saying that history is automatically going to repeat itself, but he does seem to be asking an important question. If Lululemon recovered once from a management-driven crisis, could today's problems simply be another chapter in that same story? Is Lululemon fundamentally a broken business, or is this just a business going through a rough patch? Well, the first thing he looks at is the brand itself, because honestly, if the brand is dying, none of the rest really matters. If the brand moat is gone, that's curtains, particularly for an athletic wear company. Now, plenty of investors point to competitors like Alo or Vuori as evidence that Lululemon's best days are behind it, but Burry doesn't seem convinced that's what's happening. In his write-up, he argues that Lululemon actually still has pretty loyal customers. He notes that at least 95% of Lulu's customers are not customers of either of the upstarts. He also argues that it's still one of the strongest premium athletic apparel brands in the world. You know, I tend to agree. And while most people still think of Lululemon as women's yoga apparel, the men's business has quietly grown into a multi-billion-dollar segment of its own. So he doesn't see a brand that's becoming irrelevant. He sees a brand that's just being mismanaged. So that's point number one. Then he goes on to talk about whether the profits are permanently damaged. Again, his answer appears to be no. Right now, yes, profits are under pressure, but he argues much of that pressure is coming from temporary factors rather than permanent ones. Tariffs, for example, are really increasing costs at the moment. The company has had to mark down some products after short-term inventory mistakes. And a few recent product launches simply haven't landed with customers the way that management had hoped. Now, none of these things are good, that's for sure, but they're also short-term problems or straight-up management fumbles. It's very different from a business whose economics have permanently deteriorated. And then the juicy bit, finally, he looks at the financials, because even if growth has slowed, even after the management fumbles, is this still a business generating real cash? The answer is yes, 1.1 billion in the last 12 months. I mean, Lululemon still generates around 11 billion in annual revenue. It has approximately 1.5 billion in cash on its balance sheet, basically no debt. And at the current share price, down 75%, and at a current PE of 9, it's continuing to buy back its own shares. In fact, management recently authorized another $1 billion of share repurchases. Now, those aren't usually the characteristics of a company fighting for its survival. And that's really the key point Michael Burry is making. He's not arguing that everything is going well at Lululemon. It's quite the opposite. He's arguing that the market just might be treating a business with reasonably temporary execution problems as though it's in a terminal decline. And if he's right about that distinction, that's where the opportunity could come from. And that leads us to his valuation. And I do want to note what we talk about in this next section is in no way implying a buy, hold, or sell recommendation on Lululemon. This is not my work. This is just what Michael Burry thinks. So of course, take it all with a grain of salt. Remember, Michael Burry has a stake in this company already. So make sure you do your own due diligence and make your own decisions. But with that said, what does Michael Burry think? Well, throughout his write-up, he doesn't talk about price targets. Instead, he focuses on expected returns. Now, he has his own valuation framework that he calls IV8, IV12, IV15, IV18, IV20. Don't worry too much about the names. The basic idea is actually pretty simple. Rather than asking, what is this company worth today? Burry asks, if I buy this business at today's price and hold it for the next 15 years, what sort of annual return might I earn if my assumptions are roughly correct? So the higher the number, the better the expected long-term return. And according to his analysis, he now believes Lululemon has become what's known as an IV18. In other words, based on his assumptions, he believes buying the stock at today's price could potentially generate an 18% annual return over the next 15 years. But of course, that's not a prediction, that's not a guarantee. It's simply the output of Burry's valuation model. But what is interesting is how rarely he says opportunities like this appear. In his article, he explains that IV18s and IV20s generally only show up when the market becomes extremely pessimistic about a quality business. And usually it's because investors have started treating temporary problems as if they're permanent. And that's exactly what he believes has happened with Lululemon. In fact, Burry says he has just added to his position again, bringing his average purchase price to around $125 per share. So this isn't just an interesting idea to him, it's a thesis he's backing with his own capital. And by the sounds of things, it is a long-term thesis, not a short-term trade. Now, of course, that doesn't mean he'll be right, but it does tell us he clearly believes the market's view of Lululemon has become far more pessimistic than the underlying business deserves. So what's next? If Michael Burry is right, what needs to happen from here? Well, it probably starts with the new CEO. So later this year, Heidi O'Neill will officially take over after spending more than 2 decades at Nike. Now, it's worth saying that not everyone is convinced she's the right person for the job. Some investors point to Nike's recent struggles and question whether she is any good. But at this point, I don't think Burry's thesis revolves around a perfect CEO, just not a terrible one. It relies on execution improving from where it is today. If product launches improve, if they stop shooting themselves in the foot, if inventory is managed better, margins begin to recover, customer demand stabilizes, chances are the market may start looking at Lululemon very differently. That's really the turnaround that Burry appears to be betting on. Of course, none of that is guaranteed. There are some risks, if the new leadership fails to execute, if competitors continue taking meaningful market share, or if today's slowing growth turns out to be permanent rather than temporary, then this investment thesis could prove wrong. And that's still an important point to remember. Michael Burry is not buying a perfect business here. He's buying a mismanaged business that he believes the market has become too pessimistic about. Whether he's right or not, only time will tell. But with that said, the last thing I just wanted to quickly plug is that if you're interested in Lululemon or any other stock for that matter, and you want to run your own valuation on the shares through that discounted cash flow analysis, definitely pick up a copy of the New Money Strategy. This is a full run through of the Warren Buffett method of analyzing businesses. So check it out if you're interested. Apart from that, remember to join the email list if you're interested in a live workshop in Atlanta with myself and Phil Town in September 18th to 20th. But with that said, guys, please leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I'll see you all in the next video.